Tuning your drums can be one of the most frustrating aspects of being a drummer. Sometimes it feels like you just can't get a drum to sound good. There's all kinds of secrets and tips and tricks to tuning drums, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to your ears. So today, I'm going to show you how to use those. Okay, so I get a lot of comments in my YouTube videos, my social media posts about how to tune the drums. Tuning drums is a very personal thing. Everybody kind of does it a little bit differently, but the same basic rules apply to every person's approach to tuning the drums. So I figured in this video, I'm going to show you my approach to tuning. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps I do to tune the drums, and hopefully you can pick up some tips and apply them to your tuning approach. So let's get started. First things first, head selection. Okay, for me, the music I like to play, I prefer single ply heads. They just have the most kind of clear tone to me. So this is a Remo coated Ambassador. I like to use coated heads on the batter side of my drums. They just have a bit of a warmer sound. Although I have played with clear heads that just get a bit more attack. Sounds better with like pop music or heavy rock music. On the resonant side, I have a clear Ambassador, which is a single ply head. In the past, I've been known to use coated heads on the resonant side as well to give it even more warmth or like kind of a shorter sound. But for these, I just have clear heads on them. Part of that is because the inside of this drum has a finish to it, so it's kind of cool to see the inside. First things first, I'm just going to take all the drum heads off and just start from scratch. I'll see you in a bit. Oh, are you really tuning your drum if your drum key doesn't fly away from you at least 10 times? Dude, as soon as I say something, I can block it with my hand. Okay, batter head is off. Now let's take the resonant head off. Be fast, fast. That's 3. Okay, we got both drum heads off. We're going to start by putting the batter head on to the top of the drum. I like to line the logo up with the mount on the side of the drum that the post slides into. I don't know why I do that. You don't have to if you don't want, but I just think it looks nice. Okay, that's lined up now, so we're gonna put the rim on next. Just line up the holes on the rim with the holes that go into the lugs. Next step, get your tension rods screwed into the lugs as tight as you can with your fingers. Get them finger tight. Now, an interesting thing about these tension rods, which you might find on some old Sonor drums, is the tension rods aren't perfectly round. I don't know if you could see this in the video. They're kind of squared off on 2 sides of the tension rod. I think this is to help the tension rod not lose tension over time as you're hitting the drum. But a side effect of that is tightening with your fingers is a little difficult. It gives it a bit more resistance. So in the long run, it's good because the drums don't go out of tune, but doing the finger tight method is a little hard. So I'll probably use a drum key to get the first, tension done on this. See, there's just that resistance where it's like catching. So I'm just gonna use a drum key. And I'm just gonna tighten it down until I just start to see that slightest bit of tension, right? You can kind of see the rim pulling the head down a little bit. That's when I'll stop. Now on other drums where the tension rods don't have that kind of squared off edge, you should be able to just tighten them down with your fingers, right? Just kind of doing this. And when doing this first tension, do the tension rods that are across from each other together. I don't like to just go in a circle around the drum just because it's like tightening in this way, which seems a little uneven versus like, it feels a bit more even. Basically, you just want to get them tight enough to where they're not wiggling around at all, okay? Just to have that little bit of tension. Good. Now, from here, what I like to do is I'll just press my finger against the drum head and kind of move around in a circle to check if there are any wrinkles in the drum head. Now, listen to this. Can you hear this? It's like bloop, bloop, bloop. That sound? Okay, that's what we would call a wrinkle. You can also hear it when you tap on the drum. It just kind of sounds like flappy. So here, I'm just going to tighten this lug and maybe this one just to get rid of that wrinkle. Okay, so the wrinkle's gone. Now I'm just gonna go around the drum doing half turns. So from here to there, 180 degrees. So I'll start here, half turn, go across the drum, half turn, go over one, same process, go across, over one, go across. From here, once the drum head starts resonating, it actually has like a pitch that carries, you know you're kind of getting in the ballpark. And from here, this is where you spot check at each lug, each tension rod, and just try to match the pitch of the entire drum head together so that it's really in tune with itself. Okay, so just going around tapping, you can use your finger, drum key, drumstick, whatever you want to do. I noticed that these four sounded pretty close, but these two sounded lower, okay? Da da dee dee. So what I'll do is I'm gonna bring these four down just the slightest bit and these two up. Now let's check. Pretty close. I'm just bring these up a little bit more. And then bring these four down to balance it out. And remember, when you tighten or loosen one lug, that's going to change the pitch of the entire drum head. You always have to keep in mind the rest of the tension rods, the lugs, and their pitches are going to be relative to what you're changing here. So always kind of fine tune, not just one, but change this and then see how that affected the rest of the drum head as well. That sounds pretty close to me. So the drum head is in tune with itself. When you tap on it, it's not sounding wonky. It's not going like bow wow. That'll happen when one side of the head is much looser than the other. You tap the head and the pitch just rings out, that natural ringing, and it decays naturally. Now, you might have noticed I'm not using a tune bot. I'm not using the drum dial, any external devices. I'm just relying on my ears. And I recommend you do that as well. In my experience, things like the drum dial and the tune bot, they honestly just get in the way. The more and more you tune, the more used to hearing pitches and matching pitches you'll get. So I just strongly recommend relying on your ears. Okay, now let's put the resonant head on the bottom. Okay, I'm doing the same thing where I'm matching the logo of the drum head to the mount. Again, you don't have to do that, I just do it. Okay, we got it finger tight. Now we're gonna check for wrinkles. Remember, press your finger against the drum head, go around in a circle. Hear that? Blub, 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 blub. Okay, there's a bit of a wrinkle here. Has that wonky sound, so we're just gonna tighten the lugs here. Okay, it's gone. Now, we're gonna do that half turn on each lug. So we'll start here. Cross. Over. Cross. Over. Cross. Okay, so I'm hearing that same thing where 2 lugs are a bit higher than the rest. So I'm gonna lower both of these and bring the other 4 up. Still a little higher. There we go, sounds in tune with itself, okay? Nice ring to it. Now we have both heads in tune with themselves. The next step is the relationship between the 2 heads. You might hear from a lot of people different approaches when it comes to the relationship between the top and the bottom head. For me, I like to tune in intervals, like the intervals on the pitches on a piano. Now, I don't mean tune to an exact pitch on a piano, like, okay, this is a C sharp. No, I don't mean that. I deal more with like relative pitch, where I get the top head where I like it, and then I will tune the bottom head relative to that with a certain interval. So in music theory, we might have intervals like a perfect fifth, or a perfect fourth, major third, minor third, stuff like that. And I like to use what we call solfege, or syllables, basically assigning a syllable or small word to each pitch in a scale. If you've ever seen The Sound of Music, you've probably seen that scene where they sing do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun. Those are just the syllables, the solfege syllables of a major scale. Those being do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And those syllables, we can assign those numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the interval I like to use is a third. So if we're using those syllables, do, re, mi. So if that's our starting point, do, let's go up a third. Do, re, mi. So that third, that major third, is where we're going to tune the bottom head to. Where is it at now? Not quite there, so we're gonna tune this a little higher. That's close. Yeah, pretty close. Maybe a little higher. Do, mi. Yeah, sounds pretty good. I like that interval relationship between the top and bottom, because if we tune the bottom much higher, it kind of chokes the sound a bit too much. Many people like to tune the bottom head at the exact same pitch as the top head, which that can sound good, but for me, that's almost too long of a sound. It doesn't cut the sound off fast enough for me. Also, some people like to tune the bottom head lower than the top head, and that gives the sound kind of this shape where it's like doom. That can sound good, but not my cup of tea, so this is what I like to do. Now, I use this same approach on all of my toms and my bass drum. I get the batter head where I like it, make sure the head is in tune with itself, then tune the bottom head a third above it. And again, you don't need to know a ton of music theory to do this. You just have to be able to recognize these intervals with your ears. Your ears are your biggest tool just in general as a musician. The more you do this, the better your ear will get, the easier it'll be to tune your drums. Now, as far as the relationship between the different toms, I also like to tune in intervals, usually in thirds, okay? So I might think of my floor tom as my starting note, or like my do, and then maybe I'll tune the rest of the drums as a major triad, right? Like do, mi, sol. Do, mi, sol. Forgive my singing voice, I'm not a singer. Now, tuning snare drums is a bit different because we have those wires on the bottom. That is going to be another video, okay? So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe. For the sake of this video, I don't have time to tune every single drum, but let's see how this sounds with the whole drum set. Hopefully you guys got something from this video that you can apply to your tuning practice. Just keep working on those ears and your drums are gonna sound great in no time. If you wanna get better at drums, click on this video right here. Thanks for watching. See ya.